Welcome back to ETBU Extra on the ETBU Sportsnet at GoETBUTigers.com. We're live from CC's Pizza in Marshall. If you join us each Wednesday from noon to 1 p.m., you have the buffet and the drink for just $5. We're joined now by head basketball coach of the Tigers, Bert West. And Bert said we're not going to talk about Tiger basketball today. What are we going to talk about, Bert?
I don't know. Ask me some questions, and then I'll just change the subject.
Okay. Let's ask this question. I know you like to ride your motorcycle, and the weather the last couple of days has been tremendous. Have you been able to get the bike out?
No. We've got important work to do. No playing.
All right. It seems like every time I get you on the show, I always interrupt your lunch. How are you going to stop that?
I'm just bringing it up here with me next time.
Okay.
I tell you what we can talk about. Let's talk about the kind of people I have to work with. We have these Tiger basketball players. They are a most unique group. I can go in the dressing room, and normally our dressing room is immaculate. They keep it really. I go in, and there'll be like clothes dumped out in the middle of the floor. So I will say, who did that? And someone will say, Justin did it, or Jamil did it, or Andre did it. That's not who did it. Actually, there was not even a problem to start with, but they want to see me go off on a rant. Mm-hmm. So some poor innocent soul gets just chewed out. I just go on a rant on them, and everyone sits there very serious, very like, oh no, I can't believe this is happening. And they started it, and they put it on some innocent person. And that poor guy just sits there and takes it. So after I leave, then they all laugh at the guy that got chewed out. And then they take turns doing the Coach West rant. So they're a very nervous, worried group.
Interesting insight to what's happening in the Tiger locker room right now.
The Tigers right now are a little sick. They're a little banged up and just excited about the opportunity for tomorrow night. The Tigers are ready to try.
And what Coach Bert West is talking about is Hardin Simmons coming to Ornelas Gymnasium to take on the Tigers. Both of these ball clubs are top of the standings in ASC play, 12-4, but you got the edge on percentage because you're 17-4 on the season and they're 16-5. But it is a battle for first place against the American Southwest Conference. This is where you want to be, isn't it?
Well, and this is where we feel like we've been the entire time. We won't change our philosophy for this game. We feel like any loss in conference counts just as much. It doesn't matter whether it came from the 11th or 12th place team or whether it comes from the number one team. And so we feel like every game we played is for the championship. So nothing will change for us tomorrow night. This is a big game, but it's not a bigger game than last week's, or it is just because it's the next one. And this game will not, put us home free or put us out. It's for first, and we want to play it like it's first. But we were playing for first, for the whole last month. So nothing's going to change for us.
Of course, the last time you played Hardin Simmons was in Abilene, and you lost to them 80-80. Anthony Davis put up a three. If it went in, you would have won the ball game. It didn't happen. It was a hard-fought ball game in that ball game. But you're not going to have the services of Anthony Davis this game, right? He got hurt in the game against Concordia.
Yeah, that was a tough break for a little Ant. He's just been really improving and is performing better and better every game. And the last several games, whenever he's on the floor, it's just been an open shot for somebody at all times. So that's really, that'll be missed. But also that other game was a little deceptive. They beat us about 6 or 8 points each half. They should have had about a 12-point win, and it's happened sometimes. It's a 40-minute game, and those Tigers aren't going to give up. And so we made a big push the last minute or so and made it look like it was a 2-point game. They had a 12-point margin. They earned probably all we did was put them on high alert that we're dangerous. But it'd be different. It'd be different for them. They've been a player down. I think they're getting him back. And that's how we were able to track them down and catch them. They weren't at full strength, and other people got to play them and barely were able to beat them. So we won't get that advantage. Matter of fact, we'll be a man down. But, again, every player on our team ran every hill, ran every conditioning drill, gone through every practice. We are supposed to be prepared. Whoever is called on, they're supposed to be ready to do the job. So, we're ready to try that.
Let's talk about the victories you had last week. You had a win over Concordia Saturday when you won the ball game by a final score of 71-66. Then last Thursday you beat University of Mary Hardin-Baylor by a final score of 76-58. I want to talk about the Concordia game. They came into the gym averaging about 88 points a ball game, close to 90 as a season average, and you only held them to 66 points.
Yeah, last time we held them to about the same the first time we played them. They scored a little bit more, but we had some errors that we were making, and fooled around and got behind and had to foul and gave them a few points at the end. But the Tigers' defense, we're number 8 in the nation in defensive field goal percentage. And that is a stat I guess I'm most proud of. I'm not a stat guy. We don't care who scores. We don't care who rebounds. It's a team game. That's all we're interested in. But when you talk about a team defensive field goal percentage, that is a team goal. That's a team stat. It's a very telling stat. And it shows that we're guarding. We're not giving up a lot of second chance. We're not giving up easy baskets. And to be ranked in the top 8 in the nation, I'm even impressed about our team. And you give a lot of credit there. Coach Michael Prather is kind of our defensive coordinator. And we've got players that have been in our system for 3 or 4 years. They're smart. They work hard. They take a lot of pride in it. He's done a great job with them. I'm very proud of that stat. That's a telling stat.
Of course, you said you're not a stat coach. You don't really look at the stats. But I want to go back to the Concordia game. I don't know if you realized in the first half of that ball game, your Tigers shot from the field like 66%. What a shooting performance by your team against Concordia.
Well, now Concordia sometimes will kind of guard the wrong end. And Concordia is going to play 15 people. They play outstanding, tremendous hustle, physical defense. And they guard you from 94 feet. And so if you can break through that first line, you can get high percentage shots. So actually I expect our team to shoot the ball that well, playing that type of a team. And we actually made a more self-inflicted errors that game, turnovers primarily.
Yeah, I won't tell. It's over 30 in the ball game, Coach.
Yeah, that's a record for this team, and I haven't mentioned that to them more than a time or two. That's this group. That's way too many for this group. That's uncharacteristic, and so we're working on that, but we expect to shoot the ball well against that kind of pressure, and these are veteran guys, and they probably won't let that happen to them again.
Now, each game in the American Southwest Conference is always tough, but in the Concordia game, I noticed it was kind of a little bit more physical than normally the Tigers are used to. Concordia plays that type of ball, don't they?
Yeah, and I don't know if I want to let out any trade secrets or not, but I think it's well known that they're wanting to get about 100 touches a game, and a touch they call is a knee or an elbow or a forearm to the offensive player. And they don't care if the referees call a foul or not. Matter of fact, Louisiana College shot 55 free throws against them when they played them. And so if you've got to be strong with the ball, and referees are human. They call 6 or 7 fouls a row on those guys and don't call any on you. They have a tendency, they don't want to feel like they're not calling the game fair, and they will stop calling fouls. Well, Concordia's not going to stop fouling. And so that allows them to do what they want to do and throw you off your game, get you off rhythm. And if you can get a team out of rhythm, you got a chance to do something with them. And they got us out of rhythm. We had too many turnovers, and we've just got to be strong and smart and play through that.
The reason I mentioned the physical part of the ball game is like every time somebody was down on the floor, getting up and hobbling on a tweaked ankle or something, it just was a very physical game that you won against Concordia Saturday by a final score of 71-66. We're here on ETBU Extra visiting with the head coach of the Tigers, Bert West, live from CC's in Marshall, Texas. And Coach, as you get to the end of the season, of course, I know one of your team goals is to win the ASC, which will allow you to host the conference tournament. This run coming up is very important, these next 4 games, 2 at home and 2 on the road.
Yeah, you know, what our team has accomplished to this point is very impressive, and we really don't have time to look back at it and think about it in that manner because we quickly turn our attention to the next game. And our goal is players can't help it. They're trying to win. They want to win. But, you know, our goal is we're trying to dominate the game. And by attempting to dominate the game, sometimes that just allows you to keep up and hang with the other team. But we're just, you know, trying to dominate every possession. We're trying to do our job. We're trying to execute to the best of our ability. And that's where our focus is going to stay. there's nothing we can do that would help us any more than to just continue on the path we're on and do the very best we can, in our next game, which is the biggest game of the season.
Coach West, thank you for your time today. I know you couldn't join us last week because you've been under the weather a bit, but you're doing better. Are you?
I am better.
Well, good. Well, Coach, best to your Tigers tomorrow night and Saturday as you have your last 2 home games of the year. Best of the Tigers.
Thanks, Mike.
All right. We're visiting with Bert West, the head coach of the ETBU Tigers here on the ETBU Extra. Coming up next, we're going to visit with Jamil Samuel and Justin Felicia of that Tiger basketball team and get their perspective as they head into the final 4 games of the year. I want to mention about the ETBU fan vote that has been happening this week on the internet. You had a chance to as a fan, to vote about your favorite contest, favorite win this week. Was it the Lady Tiger basketball win over Concordia as they swept them this season? Was it the walk-off win against ETBU baseball team had against Chapman on Saturday with the 3-run homer in the bottom of the 9th? Or was it the Tigers' 15th consecutive win, Tiger basketball 15th consecutive win on Saturday? And we'll reveal that into that vote and how it went this week as you had a chance to vote for the best finish or the best game this week at goetbtigers.com. Coming up next, we're going to talk to Justin Felicia of the Tiger basketball team. You're listening to ETBU Extra on the ETBU Sportsnet. Back in a moment, live from CC's in Marshall, Texas.